Hey everyone, and welcome to Trend 10. We will bring you some crazy top 10 videos from interesting facts, sports, tech and much more. Make sure to subscribe, like and comment. We reply to every single comment, so make sure to let us know your favorite from this list. Let's get into the video. In at number 10. The Baltic Anomaly. Nature's structure or our real-life Millennium Falcon? Still undecided. The Baltic Anomaly is a mysterious 210 feet long UFO-shaped object that was found 300 feet underwater in the Baltic Sea by OceanX explorers. Originally, the crew was looking for an old sea wreck by the Finland, Estonia and Russian border of the sea, and instead stumbled upon a blurry picture of the anomaly. Walter Bruchert, an associate professor of geology at Stockholm University, theorizes that no, it's not a UFO, but might rather be a volcanic rock. To this day, it's still known as the Baltic Anomaly, and its origins and purpose are unknown. Number 9. Lake Michigan Stonehenge. The mystery behind the UK's Stonehenge will forever haunt our minds until we discover its origins and purposes. And while it's not the only Stonehenge-like structure in the world, the discovery of an additional Stonehenge located 40 feet underwater in Lake Michigan, USA was baffling. On a survey to examine boat wrecks using sonar techniques in 2007, Professor of Underwater Archaeology Mark Holley discovered an underwater structure that resembles Stonehenge. The stone structures are organized in a circular shape, and what drew people's apprehension is one stone in particular on the outer circle, which has a carving of a mastodon, an elephant-like animal that went extinct over 10,000 years ago. However, some people believe that the stones were planted and aren't a megalith site like the actual Stonehenge. With the origins still under debate, Lake Michigan's Stonehenge still makes for one of the strangest discoveries underwater. Number 8. Yonaguni Complex. The Yonaguni Complex is a mysterious massive underwater rock structure located off the coast of Yonaguni, the southernmost of the Ryukyu Islands, Japan. It was first noticed in 1986 due to the Yonaguni Sea already being a popular diving spot for its hammerhead sharks population. There's some debate over its origin, with some arguing that it was naturally formed, and others, like marine seismologist Masaki Kimura, who go as far as theorizing the monument might date back to over 10,000 years ago to the lost continent of Mu. If it isn't completely man-made, then Kimura says it was enhanced by humans to an extent. According to him, the details on the rocks seem too precise for natural erosion, with features such as a trench with two 90-degree angles, two megaliths with straight edges and corners, sharp triangles. Some carvings are also believed to resemble Qaeda script, and that a pyramid, castles, roads, and a stadium can be made out within the large structure. Whether it's man-made by an ancient civilization or is a natural formation, it's still an incredible sight, and one you can view for yourself if you're interested in scuba diving. Number 7. Skeleton Lake. The number of bones and skulls found underwater is unnerving, and while this one is the last mention of it on the list, it's one of the most gruesome. We're talking about the Skeleton Lake in India. The high-altitude glacier lake's official name is Rupkund, but the hundreds of skeletons that become visible at its bottom when the ice melts have earned it its other names, Mystery Lake or Skeleton Lake. It's located 16,000 feet above sea level in the Himalayas, and over 800 skeletons have been found. National Geographic themselves described the site as home to one of archaeology's spookiest mysteries. The original theory is that the skeletons were of South Asian descent and have probably died of various causes between the 7th and 10th centuries. Moreover, an additional 24 bodies with Mediterranean ancestry have been found that would have died 1,000 years later than the original group. Officially, the cause of death and origins of these skeletons remains unknown, and the site remains a ghastly and a haunting mystery. Number 6. Uluburun Shipwreck. When 1982 sponge diver Mehmet Kakir described finding metal biscuits with ears close to the east shore of Uluburun in southwestern Turkey. Little did he know it would lead to the discovery of the wealthiest and oldest shipwrecks ever found. 11 campaigns and 22,413 dives spanning 10 years later, about 17 tons of cargo were excavated from the 44 to 61 meters depth of the Mediterranean Sea. What is officially known as the Uluburun shipwreck is a late Bronze Age shipwreck that dates back to the 14th century BC and was likely headed to a port in mainland Greece. The cargo found falls in place with the type of treasures exchanged between ancient royals as gifts. One of the most significant discoveries was a gold scarab inscribed with Egyptian Queen Nefertiti's name, along with 10 tons of copper ingots, Canaanite jars, hippopotamus teeth, jewelry, gold, silver weapons and tools, and edibles like nuts and spices. A few of the earliest, still intact glass ingots were also found in the shipwrecks, with glass ingots made of cobalt blue, turquoise and lavender. Number 5. Dwarka. According to legend, Krishna, the most powerful character in Mahabharata, founded the city of Dwarka, a well-planned, beautiful city with 900,000 crystal silver royal palaces. The modern city of Dwarka, which means gateway to heaven in Sanskrit, is located in the northwestern Indian state of Gujarat. The site is a sacred place for pilgrimage, one of the 4 dharmas of the Hindu religion. So far thought to be a legend, it wasn't until the first archaeological excavations were done by the Deccan College in 1963 that centuries-old artifacts were revealed. That opened a doorway until further investigation over the years that uncovered artifacts that firmly put the site as nearly 9,500 years old, older than even ancient Egypt, Sumerian, and Chinese civilizations. At the site, walls, pillars, stone sculptures, human bones and teeth, pottery from 3,528 BC, terracotta beads, and much more were uncovered. Not only is Dwarka one of the best studied underwater cities underwater in India, but you can also visit and scuba dive to check it out for yourself. Number 4. Chanhal 3. The mysterious 9,900 years old woman. In the flooded caves in the area of Yucatan Peninsula, Quintana Roo, Mexico, divers have found about a dozen skeletons over the years, hinting at a very early settlement in North America that might date back to 10,000 years ago. Up to now, researchers have only recovered 30% of the skeleton of what they identified as a disfigured woman. It's believed that she might have died around the age of 30 and that she had lived through a very hard life. Signs of damage to her skull led researchers to believe her death might not have been very peaceful and that she might have suffered from a treponemal disease, which is similar to syphilis, degenerations of some bones that might be arthritis, and 3 traumas to her skull. Missing teeth, a painful abscess in a jawbone, and cavities reveal that the woman, now referred to as Chanhal 3, had a diet rich in sugar. Her existence and bone structure, as well as the discovery of other similar skeletons, opened the door to understanding how ancient humans, 10,000 years, might have lived like. Number 3. World's oldest intact shipwreck in the Black Sea. 2,400 years old and over 1.3 miles below, this ship has miraculously survived millennia and centuries. The water surrounding the wreck is anoxic, free of oxygen, explaining its lack of deterioration. The 75-foot-long wooden vessel was found lying on its side, completely and eerily preserved. So much so that the mast and rowing benches were perfectly intact. The ship is linked in style to the Siren vase in the British Museum. The vase is from around 480 BC and depicts Odysseus, the legendary hero in Greek myth, strapped to the mast of the ship to resist the call and temptations of the mythical creatures, the Sirens. Of course, this is not the oldest shipwreck ever found, but it is the oldest one intact. Others were found in ruins and in parts. The fact that it is so preserved opens a doorway to maybe finding similar ships and understanding ancient technology and trade. Number 2. Heraklion. Before Alexandria became the main port for trade, Heraklion existed. Mentioned in ancient text, included in the writings of Herodotus, Strabo and Diodorus, the city of Heraklion or Thonis was a prosperous city built on the Nile Delta. Previously thought to be two different cities, with the Greek name Heraklion and as Egyptians knew it, Thonis, legends link it to visitations from Alexander, Helen of Troy and Hercules, hence its name. French archaeologist Frank Gaudiot started the search for the ruins after a sighting by a UK Royal Air Force commander flying over the Aboukir Bay. 5 years later, they uncovered the legendary ruins. Completely submerged 6.5 kilometers from the coast of Alexandria, the ancient thought-to-be lost city of Heraklion was uncovered. 2,000 years old colossal statues, ritual objects, over 700 anchors, 300 statuettes, over 70 shipwrecks that date from the 6th to the 2nd century BC. Incomplete statues of the god Serapis and the Queen Arsinoe II, and the massive remains of a temple dedicated to, at the time, supreme god Amun. Frank Gaudiot, who discovered the city, still estimates that he'd only uncovered 5% of the city and says that the archaeological research is still ongoing until today. Heraklion isn't the only ancient lost city on our list. Wait until you hear about point number 5 for another incredible city. Number 1. The Antikythera mechanism. Enough about skeletons and skulls. This next item is purely technical and gore-free, for it's believed to be the world's oldest computer, over 2,000 years old. Not unlike the Euler Burns shipwreck, this exciting discovery was found by a sponge diver in 1900 in a wooden box in the Antikythera shipwreck in Greece. The complexity of the computer is relevant to an 18th century mechanical clock. Complicated gears, inscriptions, dials, and further hidden or missing components show that the mechanism was used to predict astronomy and indicate the calendar. Eclipses, lunar and solar movements are examples of what this device could predict. It's by far the most sophisticated, complicated, and oldest mechanical computer found.